What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham, and it's Overreaction Monday in the NFL, and boy, are the overreactions coming in. Some legit, some not. We'll address them all here on today's show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or on Rumble. We do appreciate all of the support, so thanks again for that. Tough loss yesterday, but got to flush it here. Shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are watching from after a disappointing loss, to say the least, yesterday against the Colts. I mean, that just wasn't good. It just was not good whatsoever. We are in Dallas, Texas, our Chat Sports studios here. A lot to address today. We're going to answer some questions later, so it should be a lot of fun. We got Michael in Goose Creek, South Carolina. That sounds like a fun place. Tony in Dallas. We got Michael in Top City. Jared in Joplin, Missouri. Let's see. Justin is in a law. We got Matt Rader in Knoxville. Is that Knoxville, Tennessee? We got Troy in Spokane. I'm good, Tony. I'm good. Corey says Atlanta. We got Albert in Belgrade, Montana. Lyon, France is where onboard is. That would be what, about 9 o'clock right now in France? 8 o'clock? We got Eliezer says St. Louis. Gwendolyn is in Larchmont, New York. We got your boy Corey in Excelsior Springs. Matt is in, Knoxville, Tennessee. G-Dub is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We got Issei in Corona. Let's see. Zach is in Meridian, Mississippi. Let's see. Matthias in Hanover, Germany. A couple of international folks here today. Michael says, hit me with some good news needed after yesterday. We're going to hit a lot in Overreaction Monday coming up here in a few minutes because that was just a sloppy loss, for being honest. Brian says Olympia. Can't believe we lost. I know, man. I know. It's a tough one, that's for sure. How upset are you after the Week 3 loss? How upset are you guys? Let's push this one across, Trace. Scale from 1 to 100. How upset are you guys? 1 being not at all. It's one game. 100 being pissed off as hell. I'm at like a 70. I mean, that was a bad loss. Not that the Colts suck, but I said it all week it was a trap game, and guess what? They bit the cheese. Tony says 11. Only 11 out of 100. Your boy says 100. Poop happens from Michael. Fair. G-Dub says 100. 5 from Gwendolyn. We got Jared saying 100. Supreme saying 91. 90 from Brian. I'm pissed. EB got to go. I'll talk about Eric Bieniemy here in a second. 33 from I'm to Brown. Michael says 89. WC says 100. Disappointed from Albert. Ismori says 75. Kind of all over the place, but I understand. I understand being frustrated. I understand not panicking. I'm not panicking, but come on. That's a game you should have won. Let's be honest. Hell, if your kicker just makes a field goal and an extra point, you win. Disappointing, to say the least. All right, who's going to win the AFC West? Chiefs are 2-1. Chargers are 1-2. Raiders are 0-3. Broncos are 2-1, but they've been sloppy. I think based on what I've seen, the Chiefs are still the team to beat in this division. Raiders behind the 8 count as they have not won a game yet. LOL. Chargers got smacked by Jacksonville yesterday. And then Denver, they're 2-1, but come on. Nathaniel Hackett, I don't know. I think he's a fraud. Still dreaming, says Casey. Corey and your boy also going with the Chiefs. So is Justin, Albert. WC on board, all going with the Chiefs. Someone says my depression's been worse because of the loss. Don't say that. It's one game. I got you, bro. Hit me up if you need to talk it out. But it's one game. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. Special teams coach should go. I don't think Dave Tobe's going anywhere. You're dealing with the backup kicker. On board says Kansas City. Jared Neal says Kansas City. G-Dub as well. Chiefs from Jeremiah. Broncos are going to win it this year. I just don't see it, man. I still think it's going to be the Chiefs. We'll see. All right, the poll question of the day. Should the Chiefs fire Eric Bieniemy? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Him and Patrick Mahomes were seen beefing yet again at the end of the first half. This is not the first time this has reportedly happened. I don't know, man. I don't think they'll do it mid-season, but it kind of feels like they should have just let him go when his contract ran out. It's kind of what it feels like. Percy says no. Tony says yes. Jeremiah, no. Corey, yes. Albert, no. On board, no. G-Dub, yes. Your boy Corey says yes. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's not – there's something off. I don't think him and Mahomes get along. We're going to expand on this here in a few minutes, but not great. Yes, I'm Bieniemy from WC. Jorge says no. KC Girl says yes. Harrison, you don't get anybody. What is Tyreek? You don't got anybody. What is Tyreek Hill? Yeah, I mean, yeah, and we kind of knew that. They didn't have anybody that could replace Tyreek Hill by themselves. I think that's true. Jorge says no. Universe says yes. And let's be honest, no one in the NFL replaces what Tyreek Hill does. So that's just the reality of the situation. All right, later on in the show, if you want to be featured, we have 2 mailbags. So use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the show. Otherwise, producer Trace is going to say, well, we don't have any questions. We got to sign off early. So if you don't use the hashtag Chiefs or if you don't send in Super Chats are a priority because they're donations to the program. We certainly appreciate those. If you don't use either of those 2 functions, then no mailbags today. So load them up. I've seen a few in there. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. That is how you can get on the show. All right, speaking of the show, if you're ready for the real show to start, this is just kind of letting the audience build up and getting more Chiefs fans in here. Like the video if you're ready for the show to really get underway here. We're just getting started here on the Chiefs Report, so hit that like button if you're really ready for things to go. Let me know once you've liked the video as well. Come on, 26 likes. Let's go. Let's get more likes, and then we can start today's show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here on a Monday afternoon. Universe says, as a Fins fan, still can't believe we got Hill for almost nothing. I mean, it wasn't almost nothing. It was a lot of picks, but I didn't love the trade at the time, and got to say, so far, I think the Chiefs have missed him a bit, so it is what it is. Chiefs got to play a little bit better. All right, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're about to start today's Chiefs Report, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. Right now, producer Trace ready to rock and roll, and so am I. Let's go here on the Chiefs Report. Before we jump into the latest Chiefs rumors and overreactions here on NFL Overreaction Monday, how upset are you after the Chiefs' Week 3 loss to the Colts? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being not upset at all. It happens. It's the NFL. 100 being you're pissed off as hell still. Let me know. I'm closer to 100 than 1 because that's a game you should have won. It's not a game to panic over. This is still a really good football team, but every game counts, especially when you're trying to get the top seed in the AFC. Scale it from 1 to 100. How upset are you after this loss? You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here on Overreaction Monday. And that's what this is. We're going to discuss the biggest overreactions coming in, and maybe they're not all overreactions. A lot to get into here on today's show. A lot of headlines to cover after the Chiefs lost 20-17 to the Indianapolis Colts in Week 3 to fall to 2-1 on the season. 3 big topics I want to get into here on today's show, so let's get this started. Number 1, here on Overreaction Monday, should the Chiefs fire Eric Bieniemy? I think it's a fair question to ask, man. I gotta say, I think it's a fair question to ask. Now, I don't think they're going to fire him. I don't necessarily think a midseason firing 3 weeks in makes sense, but here's what did happen. We saw Patrick Mahomes and Bieniemy audibly arguing at the end of the first half when the Chiefs opted to run the football and run the clock out instead of chase points. Mahomes didn't seem happy with it. Andy Reid had to he didn't break anything up, but he kind of walked over and was like, let's go to the locker room, guys. Like, let's talk about it in there. I got to say, I don't think these guys like each other. I don't think Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy like each other. Remember what happened last year against the Bengals? Remember that big report of the Eric Bieniemy bombshell? Then that outlet took the report down and said, oh, we didn't have all our facts, yeah. Well, there's smoke. Where there's smoke, there's typically fire. I think there's some truth that Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy are not on the same page, that they do not get along. Now, Mahomes, after the game, was, of course, asked about this and talked about it. He said, look, I wanted to go and try and score, talking about the end of the first half. We were in a tough position, and the smart thing was to go to halftime. I told him to let me have a chance at it, and then he said, let's just get back to the locker room and get something going for the second half. So I'll give Mahomes credit. He's the face of the franchise. He's defending his coach. He's saying, hey, the smart thing was probably just to get to halftime, get to the locker room. But, and I respect him for being a pro, but this is Mahomes. You're at the 36-yard line with 20 seconds left. We saw him go, 13 seconds left against the Bills in the divisional round last year. He goes like 50 yards in 2 plays to get into field goal range, and with 20 seconds left at the 36, you're telling me you have no confidence that he can get into field goal range. I'm not a fan of that, man. I'm letting my franchise quarterback sling it 1 or 2 more times, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then you go to the locker room. But 20 seconds for this offense is a long time. I respect Mahomes for being a pro and saying the right things afterward, but these two guys are not on the same page. There's some dysfunction with that relationship, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Should the Chiefs fire Eric Bieniemy? Pin comment on today's show. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Should Kansas City fire their offensive coordinator? I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Pin comment during this YouTube ad break. Y for yes or in for no. Now, obviously, again, I don't expect EB to be fired right now, and I don't know if actually firing him 3 weeks into a season really makes sense. I don't know if it sends the right message to the fan base. Andy Reid, does he take back full-time play calling? There's a lot of things to consider. But more of what I'm saying is this is not the first time we've seen this, and I think there's a good argument to be made that bringing him back this year was probably a mistake. I think there's some truth to that. Remember the AFC title game blow-up report? Remember that rumor? I think there was truth to it, man. Into the first half, Mahomes wants to stay on the field for one more play to try and get a touchdown. He throws it to Tyreek Hill. He gets tackled in bounds. Half is over. There was reportedly a blow-up between Bieniemy and Mahomes and even Mike Kafka at halftime. And, of course, the Chiefs downplayed that. But I don't know, man. There's something going on here. There's something off. It just doesn't feel right. LaShawn McCoy, former Chiefs running back, who, to be fair, was kind of washed by the time he got to Kansas City, and he didn't play much of a factor. It's possible, he's just running his mouth, he's butthurt, whatever. But this is the second time he's gone after Bieniemy. He says all Bieniemy does is argue with the players. He knows nothing about passing or play calling. And McCoy played under Eric Bieniemy in 2019. It's not like he's just talking completely out of his you-know-what. He can offer at least some context here from his opinion. Now, his opinion isn't the end-all, be-all. I'm not saying everything LaShawn McCoy says is gospel, but it's not like he's an outsider. He played for this franchise under Eric Bieniemy, and if he says the guy sucks, maybe there's something true to it. I don't know. I think there's a lot of evidence that there's something off at this point with Bieniemy in this organization. Teams haven't hired him for a reason to be a head coach. Maybe players don't like him. Maybe he gets into these interviews and, when he uses references, he doesn't have any players that have his back for other organizations. I don't know. Something's off. It feels off. They argued again. They know cameras are going to pick it up. I don't know, man. I know I've said I don't know those 3 words a lot here. But I think if you say, I don't know that much, isn't that a problem? Isn't that a question mark? I'm not panicking, but at the same time, something feels off with Bieniemy. I got to wonder if it's best for both sides if they just move on after this season. You look up the next 5 games, this relationship has got to work because it's going to get harder. I'm not worried about the Chiefs' ability to compete and win games, but you go to Tampa next week. That's going to be a tough game. A desperate Raiders team, a divisional matchup, prime time the week after that. That's not just going to be a layup. Bills the week after that. We know how tough that's going to be. At San Francisco, they've got a damn good defense. Tennessee at home just beat the Raiders, so they're playing better. Things are going to get tougher. The Colts, you think the Colts is going to be a challenge? Get ready. This schedule gets a lot harder. That's why I said it was a trap game. They bit into the trap, and that is very, very unfortunate. We'll see how things shake out with Bieniemy moving forward, but I didn't like what I saw on Sunday at the end of the first half. Get going with BetUS if you want to make some money all season long. BetUS is the place to do it. Get an account created today. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Link is on your screen. Use promo code Chiefs1 25 to get a 125% deposit bonus. Put down $100, you get $125 for free. Chiefs still the pretty heavy favorite to win the AFC West. These odds are updated at -120. God, if they would have just won that game yesterday, they'd be cruising. Denver's also 2-1, but Vegas not a believer yet. That's +275. Chargers at +325, and LOL at the Raiders +1,600. They are 0-3. So Chiefs still the betting favorite. If you want to make some money, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125. All right. A lot of time spent on Bieniemy in the relationship ongoing with Patrick Mahomes. Is Skyy Moore a bust? That's next up here. Overreaction. Let's not make this more than what it is, right? Am I a little concerned about Skyy Moore? Absolutely. Had a strong training camp in preseason, and now he's just a non-factor. If anything, he's a negative factor this past game. But it's way too early to say the kid's a bust. I mean, come on. Like, the guy's played 3 games in his NFL career. Way too early to call Skyy Moore a bust. Like, that way too early. But I don't love what I'm seeing out of the second-round rookie either. I mean, I thought he'd be playing a bigger role at this point. I mean, he's your wide receiver 5, let's be honest. Justin Watson is ahead of him. That's just a fact. And he's muffing punts. That can't happen. The main job of his right now is to be the punt returner, and he's dropping punts. That was a big one. That gave the Colts an early touchdown. Special teams was an absolute disaster in this game. You're muffing punts. You're missing short field goals. We'll get to Ammendola in a second. If Skyy Moore catches this punt, you probably win the game. Real talk. Scoreless game early. He drops the punt. You give Colts an easy 7. Give Matt Ryan some confidence. That muff punt can't happen. On the road, you're trying to set the tone. You can't give a struggling team like Indianapolis coming into that game just a free 7 points. That's unacceptable. So he's got to be better. But to call him a bust, I've seen this somewhere, a few places online. That's way too early to declare Skyy Moore a bust, but we got to see some improvement here as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you don't, you're going to miss out because we publish daily videos, the latest news, rumors, buzz around this team all season long. Some watch parties as well. Didn't do one this week. Hopefully we'll be able to do one next week. Hit that sub button right now. Let's get to 32,000 subs. We're like 150 away or so. So help us get there, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. It is 100% free. All right, next up on the show, cut Matt Ammendola. I'm going to say not an overreaction. The fill-in kicker kicked admirably in Week 2 against the Chargers, made all his kicks, helped ice the game late in that one. He was bad this week, though. There's a reason he was available to sign. Missed a short field goal, missed an extra point. That cost you 4 points right there. I mean, you think of the special teams miscue, but the miscues in this game, which we'll kind of recap in a second, but 34-yard field goal in a dome, by the way. There's no weather impact. Yanks it. Misses an extra point, 33-yarder right there. That's 4 points. I think it led to the Chiefs trying a fake field goal because they were like, let's try and trick him. Amendola's not making kicks. Maybe we'll fake the field goal and get a touchdown. That didn't work. Then you drop the punt. I mean, the special teams was a disaster, and Matt Ammendola was a big problem. Harold Kuntz, who covers the team, kind of broke this down in Andy Reid's presser today that Andy Reid said he can't say anything regarding Matt Ammendola, but said that GM Brett Veach is, quote, working on it right now. That tells me if Harrison Butker is not healthy to play this week, Kansas City might work out some other kickers. Like, that was a bad performance. Like, look, when your starting kicker goes down, there's not a kicker premium right now. It's not like there's 50 good kickers on the planet. There's about 10 really good ones, 10 solid ones, and then the other 10 or 12 teams are like, we don't feel great about our kicker situation. So when you're signing someone off the street, you shouldn't expect a ton, but extra points and kicks inside 40 you should feel good about. He missed one of each of those yesterday. That's unacceptable. It cost you a game, for being completely honest. Harrison Butker, of course, dealing with that ankle injury. Hopefully he comes back, but I mean, ankle injury for a kicker, even if it's your non-kicking leg, you could argue your plant leg is more important. It's got to be stable. I'm not rushing him back. Like, you don't want to re-aggravate it. So if he misses another game or two, you want to feel better about the kicking situation. At least work some guys out, because Matt Ammendola, 2 games, 1 good game, 1 bad, batting .500, not exactly great for the Chiefs' backup kicker. Should they cut him? Type C for cut, type K for keep. At least work out some other kickers. At least. I mean, you can't just give him the job next week. Like, he should have to, when NFL teams, for people who don't know, when NFL teams work out kickers, they usually bring 3 or 4 in, and they do the exact same workout. It's about 7 to 10 kicks from different ranges and different sides of the hash marks. Whoever makes the most kicks gets the job. He should be in that competition this week with 2 or 3 other free agents, and whoever makes the most kicks should kick this week. It should be earned. I'm sorry. Unless you're at Harrison Butker's level, team should always be looking for the best kicker they could possibly have. C for cut, K for keep. Let us know what the Chiefs should do with Matt Ammendola. All right, appreciate you guys for tuning in to Overreaction Monday. Annoying loss more than anything. I think that's the one word, just an annoying one. I mean, that's not a game you should lose, and of course they did. But you move on. You're 2-1. You're still in a good position. Hit that subscribe button for more Chiefs news and rumors, and we'll have you covered throughout the 2022 season. All right, for the live show here, let's get some shout-outs here, and then we're going to answer some questions. So start loading them up, #Chiefs. Also saw a super chat come in. Let's see. WC says cut. So does Eliezer, Agent. They both say cut. Cozen, Chief, Jared. Pro Scooter says keep. We got Jeremiah and G-Dub saying cut. Yeah, we'll save those 2 super chats for our mailbag. So appreciate you guys for sending those in. Chris says cut. Cut Ammendola. Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. It is what it is, man. It be like that sometimes. All right, it is mailbag time here on the Chiefs Report. We are ready and eager to answer all your questions. So use #Chiefs, or you can super chat to get your questions on the show. That is #Chiefs or super chat to get your questions on the show. Load them up right now, and we will answer as many of them as we possibly can. We need a few more, by the way. Producer Trey saying, need more questions, folks. Need more questions. So load them up, #Chiefs or super chat. My boy East Morey just sent one in as well, so appreciate that. Here we go. A couple of mailbags coming at you, so load up those questions. What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Harrison Graham here from the Kansas City Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. It is mailbag time. You see what to do. Use #Chiefs or super chat to get your questions on the show. That way producer Trace can pull up as many as possible that we can answer for you guys here on today's show. If you super chat, you're going to be able to skip the line here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. And we got some super chats, so let's start there. I'm DeBrown with a super chat. Appreciate that. Running game is terrible. Special teams is not special. No explosive offensive players. Is the problem more about the roster or the coaching staff? I mean, look, they're 2-1. They scored 43 points in week 1. But yeah, the offense last 2 weeks hasn't been quite as good. You couldn't run the ball in week 3. That's a bit problematic. But yeah, you lost some explosion when you lost Tyreek Hill. We knew that was going to be the case. I thought Juju showed some flashes in week 3. I think continuing to get him involved will help. We need Kelsey to be a little bit more involved than he has been. He's still been good, but not great. But I'm not worried about the roster necessarily. The only coaching question I continue to have is the Bieniemy situation. Like, are him and Mahomes on the same page? Can they get along? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Gwendolyn, should we put week 4 on the hot seat too because Hurricane Ian? I don't know. That's a good question, actually. That is a very good question. I guess we'll see, right? That game, Sunday Night Football in Tampa, I know NBC would be pissed to lose a game, but hey, who knows? We'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, if a hurricane sweeps through, there's probably not going to be a game. But, you get these teams on the coast like the Bucs, the Dolphins, New Orleans. These situations pop up. So we'll keep an eye on it. Definitely probably going to be a weather forecast to monitor throughout the week. From Smooth, another super chat. Appreciate that. I feel like we will lose the next 3 games. Now, that's an overreaction. I don't think that's going to happen. But they got to play better. I mean, the Colts are not better than the Bucs. I'll tell you that. So, listen, they got to play better. They got to play sharper. The Chiefs rise up for these big games. And sometimes, unfortunately, they play down to competition. They're a better team than the Colts. They know it. We know it. The Colts know it. They just didn't play up to their level. So, you got to play better. Simple as that. From Champ, do you see any chance Sean Payton coaching the Raiders next season? Oh, man. Sean Payton to the Raiders. I'll tell you this, my guy Mitchell Renz, you think we're in shambles after a loss yesterday, or on Sunday. Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, absolute shambles. He wants Josh McDaniels fired already. I bet he'd take Sean Payton. I hope that doesn't happen. Keep McDaniels. Keep Josh in Vegas because get the hashtag keep Josh going right now because he doesn't scare me at all. Sean Payton in the AFC West, that's another formidable coach you got to deal with. McDaniels, though, total stiff. We know Hackett's a hack, and Brandon Staley might be the most overrated coach in football. So yeah, let's not get Sean Payton in the AFC West. I'll tell you that right now. If you love the Chiefs, type KC. Producer Trace came up with this one. Whoever comments KC the most in the comments will get a shout out. Whoever types it more than once. So spam it 50 different times, 100 times. Whoever does it the most, gonna get a shout out. So type KC if you love the Chiefs. Let's make it happen. Jared Neal, what was up with Orlando Brown? Happy we franchise tagged him instead of paying all that money he wanted. Yeah, I mean, he needs to play better as well. I still think Orlando Brown's fine, but he's not best tackle in the league worthy, and that's the type of money he wants. So if he plays like this moving forward, he's not going to reset the market. The Chiefs won't do that with him unless he continues to improve. But I think he will. We're 3 games into this season. Second half of last year, he played really well. A little up and down early this year, but let's give it a little bit more time. JD Hollowell, what is your view on the wide receiver core after 3 games? Inconsistent a bit. Skyy Moore not giving you anything has been a bit disappointing. This was the snap count in the last game. I got to say, I did not think Marquez Valdes-Scantling would be leading the team in snaps at receiver, but that's the reality, and he's not a number 1. But I also said it all offseason. You don't really have a number 1 right now. Kelsey's your number 1 as a tight end, and even he's been a little underwhelming. He's still great, we know that, but you need more production from Juju. You need McCole Hardman to get you some big plays. I'm not worried, but it hasn't been great. I must say. Smooth with the super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. What can Herbert, Brady, Josh, and Aaron, or why can they have elite defenses but Mahomes can't? It's not fun. I mean, I'm not saying the Chiefs' defense is elite because it's not smooth, but they held Jonathan Taylor to 71 yards and less than 3.5 yards per carry. Matt Ryan had a decent game, goodish game compared to his first 2 weeks. But, I mean, you held a team to 20 points. This Chiefs offense should score over 20 every game without problem. You lost because you scored 17 points. The offense wasn't good enough, and the special teams blew it. That's why you lost. The defense did not cost you this game. And by the way, 7 of those points were just handed to the Colts. Skyy Moore dropped a punt inside his own 10. Colts punch it in a couple plays later. So, I mean, you take that out of it, you held them to 13 points, and we're bitching about the defense? Like, big picture, that's fine. But this game, not even close. Cole Keller, you think this loss will affect the Chiefs next week against the Bucs? The Chiefs, this is a veteran, resilient team. I don't view this as a game that'll carry over. I expect the Chiefs to bounce back. But they got to correct some things. They got to be sharper. Mahomes needs to play a little bit more efficiently. And you can't have the miscues that you had last week. Special teams killed you. It just did. Christian Hafferty, should we roll with Reid over Ammendola for the time being in clear roster spot? Justin Reid, they're not going to do that, man. It's fun. And Justin Reid, when he's had to kick, has done a decent job. But he was 1 for 2 on extra points. And the one he missed wasn't close. I mean, he's got a strong leg. Like, he's great to have because if your kicker gets hurt during a game, he can kick and do a decent job, but he's not a kicker. Like, what, you're saying you'd rather have Justin Reid try 40-yard field goal attempts than Matt Ammendola? I don't think that's the case. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't view it that way. All right, Kingdom, when did you guys become Chiefs fans? What year was it? Let us know down in the comments. And if you can't remember the year, let me know who the quarterback was when you became a Chiefs fan. Just curious to see how long some of you guys have been supporting this football team. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's show. We'll get to some more questions in a moment, but can't continue without telling you about this awesome opportunity. If you love betting on sports, or if you've never bet on sports but want to start, BetUS is a great place to go. You know why? Because we have a great deal for you guys. Go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Plug in the promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. So if you put in $100, they'll send you an extra 125 for free in what's called free play, extra money to bet on. And hey, go bet on the MVP. Mahomes now the third favorite. Lamar Jackson jumping up after a 5-touchdown performance. Josh Allen and Lamar tied at plus 375 odds. Mahomes plus 600. Jalen Hurts having a huge season. He's at plus 600, and then Tom Brady at plus 1,000. If you want to go bet on Mahomes, for example, put down $10. If he ends up winning it, you'd get $60 in winnings. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125. Another super chat from Smooth, today's MVP so far. Speaking of MVP, do you think Mahomes still has a chance to win MVP? Of course. I mean, he's got 8 touchdowns and 1 pick in 3 games. It wasn't his best game Sunday, but it's early. His numbers are still top 5 basically across the board. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great game. Like, would I say he's the MVP through 3 weeks? No, but we're not even a quarter of the way through the season. We're not even 20% through the season. So let's revisit this down the road. I think he's firmly in the race. You guys just saw the odds. Third favorite to win it. So yeah, he is definitely still in the mix there. Subscribe to the Chiefs Report if you are a part of Chiefs Kingdom. If you're not, then don't subscribe. But if you are and you don't subscribe, then I don't know if you're a true Chiefs fan. I got to question that because we're publishing daily videos, news, rumors, analysis, post-game shows, watch parties, live shows on Monday. We do it all. We answer your questions. Go ahead and subscribe. It's free. We're going to have you covered all season long. Carl Bailey says, bring back Suckup. Isn't he the Bucks kicker? I think he is. I think we're going to face him. You could kidnap him after this game. It's obviously a joke. Don't cancel me. But yeah, it's he's on a team, so you can trade for him, I guess. But I don't think the Bucks are going to trade their kicker. Ice Mary here. I think the Chiefs need to trade up in the draft, get another receiver, or just trade for a better one. Yeah, I mean, look, I think wide receiver is definitely going to be on the table in the draft next year. I do want to see how Skyy Moore develops, but even when they drafted him, I didn't view him as like a future number 1. I thought he could be like a number 2. Obviously, he has a long way to go. But this is a good receiver class. They're going to have good draft capital. So, yeah, I think drafting a receiver high next year makes a lot of sense and is very much a realistic possibility. Tony says he's confused. This argument needs to stop. Honestly, the Chiefs need to work something out, which, well, maybe another reason we lost. Trent Modifiers out. Trent McDuffie. That must have been an autocorrect. Willie Gay out. Again, I don't blame the loss on Willie Gay and McDuffie being out. The defense was fine. They were fine. He gave up 20 points, and 7 of those were gift-wrapped it on a platter. What Tony's talking about, I think, is the Andy Reid or the Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes situation. And yeah, it's got to get worked out. They got to figure it out, and I think they will. But not a good look. Not a good look, to say the least. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. Daily Chiefs updates, some NFL musings on a daily basis as well. DMs are also open, so if you have any questions, you can ask me over there. It's at HGramNFL on Twitter, at HGramNFL on Instagram as well. Same handle, different platform. You can hit me up. So give me a follow, and we're going to have you covered all season long. All right, before we jump to our next mailbag, who do you guys think wins the AFC West? Let me also shout out whoever typed KC the most earlier. Let's see. It looked like it was Nonstop Sports Kids. He typed it in there a bunch. Shout out to you. Now you can type KC again because that's one of the options here. Let's see. Jared says KC. Tony. We got Razor Kurt. Razor Kurt. I think that's an Arkansas fan, Trace. Producer Trace is Arkansas fan.
Kurt, I'm hurting after this weekend, my friend.
It's a tough one. The doink off the top of the goalpost.
I don't want to talk about it.
Unbelievable.
I don't want to talk about it. Cam Little is a great kicker. He's better than Matt Ammendola. I'll
Honestly,
tell you that.
the bad snap, moving him back, that really hurt.
I'm just over it.
And the KJ Jefferson fumble.
They call us the Heartbreak Hogs for a reason, man.
Hey, the beauty of football season, there's always next week. Wolf Boy saying KC. I'm not seeing anyone picking a different team at all. Let's go.
Tony's saying go TCU.
Hey, we play OU this weekend. Let's go.
OU sucks. They're on a bad year. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win.
I hope we beat them, but catching them off a loss is not fun usually. So we'll see how it goes. All right, appreciate you guys weighing in here. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. One more mailbag to go here on the show, and then we will call it a day. So use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and then we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Hashtag Chiefs, Super Chat, load up those questions. JJ says, go Oregon Ducks. Oh, yeah, you're from Oregon, JJ. That's right. I'll say this, Bo Nix has bounced back after a horrible start to the season. He played good against BYU and do I know any free agency kickers? We'll pull up a list. Free agent kickers. Let's see who's out there. We got, give me a second here. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. The available free agent kickers. I think I got a list here. I got some guys. We'll be good. The point is you can't just give Ammendola the job this week. If he earns it in a workout, great, but someone's gotta take it over. If not, all right, here we go. Hashtag Chiefs Super Chat. One more mailbag to go. You're watching the Chiefs Report. I am Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Mailbag time. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Load them up, and we will answer as many as we can. If you Super Chat, you can jump to the front of the line. AJ, what good or decent kickers are in free agency that we can pick up? Well, I alluded to it in our Overreaction show. Free agent kickers are free agents for a reason, so if you're expecting like a huge upgrade from Matt Ammendola, you're probably going to be disappointed. But the point I made is you should at least work out some kickers this week. And if Matt Ammendola beats him out in the workout and Harrison Butker's not ready, then yeah, Ammendola can kick this week. But just for names, some of the guys, Liam Hiralahu from the Cowboys who got beat out, he's now a free agent. Michael Badgley was good a couple years ago, but I think he's been hurt a little bit. Matthew Wright, Sam Ficken, Rodrigo Blankenship, Elliott Fry has had some success. I mean, it's not a great group, but again, work some guys out and see how it goes this week. From G-Dub, our offensive line has got to do better. Yeah, it needs to play a little bit better. Trey Smith got bullied a little bit this week. DeForest Buckner's a tough matchup. I mean, that's a tough one. Orlando Brown needs to play better at left tackle. We know Andrew Wiley isn't great at right tackle. He's serviceable. But yeah, it's got to play better, especially in the run game. I mean, this team's not running the football well right now. That's got to improve. From Rick, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, is he the worst first-round pick since Ryan Sims? I mean, it wasn't a good pick, let's be honest. CEH has had some good moments. I thought the first 2 games of the season he played pretty well. But there's pretty much nothing he can do at this point to justify that pick. It was forced. You shouldn't draft a running back in the first round unless they are insanely special. Like they run a 4.3. They're 210 pounds. He's 5'7", and he's slow. It was a bad pick. And that happens. The KC chef, will Matt Nagy replace Eric Bieniemy as the Chiefs offensive coordinator next season? He might, man. He might. Feels like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. You got Andy Reid, Bieniemy, Matt Nagy, Mahomes. Bieniemy still being around after all these years. He can't get a head coaching job. It's almost like he's outstayed his welcome at this point. I'm not saying how the Chiefs like him or not, but I don't know. It feels weird at this point. I think there's a good chance he will not be here next year. And we know that Andy Reid also really likes Matt Nagy. I could see him promoting him to OC. Should the Chiefs fire Eric Bieniemy right now? Not after the season, right now. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Should the Chiefs fire Eric Bieniemy? What do you guys think? Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Ice Moore, if Eric gets fired, who would replace him? Well, I think Matt Nagy would be the favorite. For sure the internal favorite. Could you convince Mike Kafka to come back and call plays? He's calling plays for the Giants, but, you know, maybe you could get him back. Now, there is a rule, though, that if you poach someone from a different coaching staff, it has to be a title raise, so you can't hire him for the same title. Like, you would have to make him associate head coach or something like that, in addition to offensive coordinator. So that would be something you'd have to do if you wanted to bring back Kafka. But I don't know. I'm sure I could come up with a list if he does indeed get fired. Nate 55. I think they should trade for Odell. If not, they're going 5-11. Well, you can't go 5-11 because there's 17 games. So you can go 5-11-1. You can go 5-12. 6-11. You can't go 5-11 anymore though. But hey, and also you can't trade for Odell. He's a free agent. You can sign him. So some fact errors there, Nate. But it's 2022. That happens. But would I sign OBJ? I would consider it right now. I don't love this receiver group at the moment. I would absolutely consider it. Joel Bennett, draft wide receiver Marvin Mims from OU. He's nice. I like him. I think he'll be a second-round pick for sure, maybe a first-round pick. He's great after the catch, good deep ball threat. I'm a fan of his game. I watch him a lot living down here in Big 12 country. Might watch him in person this weekend. I might go to the TCU game. We'll see. They host Oklahoma. But, I like Marvin Mims a lot. I've seen him play in person a couple times already. Agent Naha, who can KC trade with for a decent receiver? I wonder if a guy like Tyler Lockett will become available before the trade deadline, like if the Seahawks keep losing. They paid DK Metcalf, and I know Pete Carroll says, we're going to win 10 games this year. No, you're not, Pete. It's not going to happen. If you've already paid DK, Lockett's getting a little older. Do you want to give him another contract? I could see Seattle trading him, and he would be a nice little piece of this offense. And he went to Kansas State, little local connection there if you want to bring him to Kansas City. Are you a real one? Are you a real one? If you're asking, what the hell does that mean? A real one means you watch all our Chiefs Report episodes, you're just an OG, and you love the Chiefs. You're a part of the kingdom. If you are, type real one in the chat. Also, get a Real One t-shirt. The link is right there, chatsports.com/realkc, chatsports.com/realkc. If you are a real one, let it be known and represent Chat Sports and the Real One gang here at the Chiefs Report. Donuts, do you think Orlando Brown will get his contract that he wants by the way he's playing so far? Not reset the market money, no. He's not playing to that level. That's why the Chiefs were comfortable playing him on the tag this year. They want to see him prove that he's worthy of resetting the market. Currently, I don't think he is. Could that change by the end of the season? Yeah, it could, but right now he's not there. Carl Bailey, definitely time for run first offense, 8 to 10 play drives. You're not going to be a run first offense with Mahomes, but yeah, you need to find more balance. I do agree with that, and I think they're trying. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 7 carries for 0 yards. It's not like they didn't try at all. As a team, 23 carries for 58 yards. More often than not, they're going to throw it more than they run because they have the best quarterback in football. But at the same time, you got to be more effective running the ball. There's no doubt. Ice Mori again. If McDaniels gets fired, could you see him coming to KC as an OC if Eric is gone? Oh, my goodness. I don't think so, man. I could see Belichick bringing him back, but I don't think so. You know what would be funny? If the Raiders hired Bieniemy and the Chiefs hired McDaniels as OC. Bieniemy finally gets a head coaching job with Vegas. I don't think they're going to fire McDaniels after 1 year anyway, but that'd be funny as hell. That would mean the Raiders had an absolutely disastrous season. All right, speaking of the Raiders, if you can't stand those SOBs in Raider Nation, just subscribe. No one Raider Nation is the ultimate. If you're not a Raiders fan, you can't stand the Raiders. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. What's up with all their fans being like, yeah, my name is Raider Bob and Raider insert name. I don't see a lot of Chief Harrisons out there. No, it's just your name. Yeah, Chiefs Charlie. No, I'm not putting Chief Harrison in my as my YouTube name. Raider Dylan. No, come on. Subscribe. No one likes Raider Nation. Daniel says, am I disappointed in the Chiefs losing? Yes, but to start firing coach is not the answer. Do you think fans are giving up? I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of fans are actually giving up, but I do think they're frustrated. And yeah, it's probably an overreaction. It's one game. I'm not even saying I would fire Bieniemy in the middle of the season, but can we at least acknowledge it's a little awkward at this point? There's the AFC Championship game rumors. Now you've got this that was seen on national television. I don't know, man. Like, something seems off. I don't think they're going to fire Bieniemy midseason, but I do think you can question if bringing him back was the right move or not. Corey Payne, why won't Bieniemy let the best QB in the league do what he knows, what we all know he's capable of doing? If you're referring to the end of the first half, I'm with you. Let Mahomes cook. Let him take a couple shots downfield. We saw this team go 44 yards or whatever it was in less than 13 seconds last year against the Bills in the playoffs, set up a game-tying field goal and ultimately win the game. You're never out of a drive or out of a game with Mahomes as long as there's time on the clock. So I'm with you. That they should have chased points there. Joe Fazio, do you think they would give Rojo a chance in the run game anytime soon, or are there problems with the O-line? That's a fair question. I mean, you kept Ronald Jones for a reason, and he's been inactive, so maybe he is worth giving a look. I don't know. Clyde, I thought, ran well the first 2 games, did not run well in week 3. I think the offensive line has had some issues in run blocking situations. I'm not going to panic and start Ronald Jones, but I might be willing to make him active and give him some touches, give him an opportunity, because him just, being inactive every game day, what's the point? I mean, you could have kept a younger, UDFA or something like that and helped develop him more. So it's an interesting point you make, Joe. Let's keep an eye on that moving forward. Appreciate the questions here. # Chiefs or Super Chat. All the questions that we've got, we have answered, and we'll see. We got one more. We'll end it on our good pal, Tony Fuentes. Do the Chiefs get a win next week? Get a chance? Well, they definitely have a chance to win, Tony. I think they'll bounce back. They'll beat the Bucs on the road, and then, the Tom Brady-Giselle rumors will kick into gear even more. Just kidding. Who knows what's happening there. But this team typically bounces back. It'll be tough. Road game at Tampa. Weather could be nasty with the hurricane potentially swooping through. So, but I think this team will bounce back. I like their chances to do just that. All right, appreciate all the questions today. Like I said, if you're a real one, it's roll call time. Type real one down in the comments below because, hey, if you're a real one, we're friends for life here at the Chiefs Report. That's how we go. Comment real one down below, and we appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's mailbag video. Get some shout-outs here, and then we're going to sign off here. No loop, just signing off here. Razor Kurt says, real one. Chiefs weak call by the refs. Talking about Chris Jones. Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. We got Jared in there, Tony, Joel, Ed, Ice Maury, Agent, Terrence, Bert, Tony. All the real ones showing up, showing out. We got Joe Fazio in there as well. Thanks to everybody who tuned in to today's Chiefs Report. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Give me a follow on social media at HGramNFL, and we will see you guys next time here on the Chiefs Report.